All right, today we're going to be taking a look at how we can use an array as a parameter and use it also inside the actual runner so we can get the information from the command line that we don't normally work with when we're talking about Eclipse. So right here, I'm inside my basic runner for my little demo project. We're using this with public static void main string args just like normal. And I've got my app controller as a new app controller, standard approach right there for my runner. But this time, instead of my regular start method taking no parameters, I'm actually going to send it the array args, the parameter that comes actually as part of the actual default running in a Java program. And we're going to send it so we can actually process that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab that args, use it over here inside start. And let's go take a look at the controller to see how we're going to make something happen and work with that. So we have right here inside our start, you can see that I now have called data is the string array name right there. And I'm going to say system.println data sub 0. So I'm going to get the first thing out of it just so we can see, oh, I'm retrieving data outside of that array. And then we're going to go ahead and just iterate everything that's inside that data array, one word at a time per line. And then we have a quick little demo using int array number demo where we use a pre-initialized array, use initialization sequence where 1, 4, 5, 234, 123. And then we just iterate over that using a standard for loop as well. So let's go ahead and see how we can make that happen. So in order to make the runner actually execute and have codes, or excuse me, have information sent to it. Now, if we're running this from the command line, we do Java space and then runner, and then the parameters we're actually going to be sending to it as a sequence right there in the command line. But we're not using the command line right now because we're inside Eclipse, so we might as well use the Eclipse tool for that. To do so, what we have to do, we go up here in the top left corner, and the little tiny triangle right here next to the play button is the run configurations option. So I go down to run configurations, I choose that. I make sure that I've got the correct project selected. This is my arrays project, so that's where it's going to be. And I can browse to it and select it right there if I don't already have it. And then again, making sure that I get my controller on the runner for that. Make sure I can search for that as well. And then what I need to do is I need to go up here to the arguments tab. And in the arguments tab, this is where I can send it the information. Because it's a string array, I'm going to type words into it. So I have, I love to work with Java and arrays. Then I have a couple emoji and some exclamation points. Because again, a string is just, emoji is just a string. We can use it right there. It works just the same. And so the arguments I'm going to send to that. And so I'm going to send that over here. It's going to become the args right here. It's going to then get sent as args to the app.start. And then inside start, it's going to become the data array that we'll be working with and using from that. So let's go ahead and hit run and see what happens. So I hit run, it goes into main, then it comes over here, it's going to go from main, it's going to go to the controller, it's going to go inside the start method where it becomes data. And then inside, once it's in data, we now have that system.println data sub 0, so that's where it prints I for the first time. And then I'm going to use the for each loop or the enhanced for loop. And I'm going to go string word colon data. So for every string that's inside that, print it out one line at a time. So I love to work with Java and arrays. And then my cute little emoji exclamation point because there's no spaces. That counts as a word. And then we have our cute little int array right here, number demo. And I didn't do good spacing on that because it's just a quick demo. But we have 145, 234, 123. And so it uses the initialization sequence right there so I can grab it and have it. And I'm just using a standard for loop to iterate over and print them out one at a time, followed by a space. And so again, when we're working with an array, we have to use the square bracket notation normally when we're accessing that. And we use that by accessing the index. And again, when we're talking indices in Java always start with a 0 and go up to the either length -1 for an array or size -1 if we're talking about a list or other collection structure, or if we're talking about a string, dot length parens -1. So we can use that to access those components. And again, pulling that up, we can see it just prints them all out one at a space at a time. We're good to go. We have it right there. That's just a quick little demo we can use so we can work with a string, so we can work with an array. We can have that information. We can send it on that so we can actually use something inside a console program if we're actually going to type it like that if we're using a console program. But when we're using this inside Eclipse, we can actually send it those parameters right there by passing information inside the run configuration. Not something we're going to do on a regular basis, but I wanted to show you could actually get that and work with that as well. And that's how a string array that we already have been working with since the beginning of Java, we actually used it. We send it in as a parameter. Now it's called data. We get in here, we access the 0 spot, and we will access all the spots and go from there. So it's just a quick little demo we can use to access that and go on. Hope you can use this and have some more fun. Cheers and have a great day.